Welcome to Business Talk here on businesstech.co.za, South Africa's #1 business news website. Now, if you've ever found yourself staring at a slightly too loved toaster and thinking, there's value in that, then today's episode is definitely for you. We're driving into the world of buying, selling, pawning and franchising with a brand that's been turning secondhand into first-rate opportunity for decades, Cash Converters. But today we're focusing on a different kind of value, the opportunity for women to step into franchise ownership and build serious wealth as well as independence. And with me is Engela van Loggerenberg, Finance Director of Cash Converters Southern Africa, and someone who's seen firsthand how the right model can open doors for aspiring female entrepreneurs. So Engela, it's great to have you on the show. I hope you're well.
Thank you so much. I'm very well, and thank you for the opportunity.
It's a real pleasure. And let's just start with the big picture, because it's August, it's Women's Month. We really should be talking about this year round, but it gives us an opportunity. Why do you think franchising and Cash Converters in particular is such a compelling opportunity for female entrepreneurs?
Well, I think being franchising, number one, it's obviously a great opportunity because it is a proven business model. It reduces the risk of failure. So I think any franchisee, female or male, can come into the business knowing that there is a recipe. Especially for Cash Converters, we've been around for 31 years in South Africa. We also have a global footprint. So I think it just makes it easier for anyone to know that there is a recipe that works. They can come in, the structure's already there, the infrastructure works, and they just have to follow the model. There's so many support structures as well. We've got a dedicated team of different individuals that's all qualified in their different areas of speciality that will hold your hand, that will take you through the whole process. And I think that just makes it so much easier for anyone.
Yeah, we were speaking to the head of the Franchise Association of South Africa recently about the rates of failure when it comes to franchising in general, and it inverts the rates of failure that you see ordinarily in business. I think something like 80 or 90% of businesses fail within the first 2 years if you're not in a franchise. If you're in a franchise, 80 to 90% succeed or are still going after the first 2 years. So it just showed you've got the guardrails. You've got a proven business model, and you've got a franchisor who can guide you through the process. Now, you've worked closely with franchisees across the country. What are some of the real-world barriers you've seen women face when trying to break into entrepreneurship, and how does Cash Converters help solve or soften for some of these?
I think one of the most obvious ones is obviously the lack of funding and opportunity to get for investments. I think what we do from Cash Converters side to assist with that is we help with the whole process. So we will actually help with the funding process to get it applied for with different service providers. We will help with the business plan. We help with the startup budget to get it all set up, just to make it a bit easier so that they can know how to submit that. And it obviously helps when it comes from a franchisor that has the proven track record. So we know how to submit it. We know what to submit. I think that makes it a bit easier. Another barrier, I think, is also the lack of mentorship and support. But again, I think on our side, we do try to make sure that the support systems are in place. We have regular sessions where we get together with all our franchisees. We make sure that they know that there's a community out there that they can also turn to assist them so that they don't feel alone in the whole process. So I think the most important barriers is definitely lack of funding, but we try to assist with that process. And also people generally tend to feel that it's this insurmountable mountain in front of them, but we try to make the process as easy as possible with all the support and doing the process with them.
I think those support structures are absolutely critical. Someone approached me the other day and said, Michael, I'm effectively a media entrepreneur now. And he said, do you want to join this network, this group of guys? And we just get together, every couple of weeks, and we talk and we share our war stories and that kind of thing. And it can become a very lonely place. But the key word was, he said, this group of guys. And I was struck. It was just, male entrepreneurs. So let's talk about the kind of support structures that Cash Converters has to back its female owners. I mean, what are you doing to help female franchisees in particular make this step into entrepreneurship?
We have regular engagement sessions specifically for female franchisees where we get together as only females. We go out in an informal setting to build that sisterhood, if you can call it that, just to spend time together, get comfortable. They can get to know each other. And I must say there's some very close friendship bonds that has been formed as a result of this, which is really remarkable to see. But other than that, we also obviously have a lot of franchisee meetings. We have director store visits. We have our operations teams that meet with all the franchisees all the time. So we literally make sure that no one feels alone at any time, whether it's male or female. We generally try to be very close to them because obviously we aligned with, if they're successful, we're also successful. So we want them to be successful and to be part of the community. But specifically to the female franchisees, we've got a very tight-knit group of female franchisees that regularly get together. We had a session not so long ago. We went for a sip and paint and we just spent some time together. And I think that make them feel part of the family. And that is really what we want. We want them to feel part of the family.
Yeah, often they say it's your network that is your net worth at the end of the day. And it's those relationships that you build around these kinds of support groups, gatherings. You build friendships that can become lifelong friendships because it's a lonely journey, entrepreneurship. Sometimes that we feel like we're walking alone if you're not tapping into that kind of support and that network. I think stories matter. And often, that you've got to see it to be it is one of the big lines. So maybe you could share one or two standout success stories of women who've really thrived as cash converters franchise owners.
Well, we've got some remarkable women in our network. We've got females that's literally started their stores from the ground up and now have multiple stores that's thriving. We've got ladies that did career changes that were in the corporate world and now came into franchising and also have thriving stores. And we've got ladies that's in it with their families, either running the stores with, we've got one specifically running it with their son. And it's awesome to see that as well, where ladies and their families can do it together, because I think that also creates a special bond. As a co-founder, a co-owner of 2 franchise stores myself, we're in it with the family as well. My husband and sons are in the stores as well. And I think it's just really brought us closer together because yes, it can create conflicts, but also just to be so close together where we're in it together, it's really made a big difference. So we've got so many of those stories where we have females that's in the stores and making a huge success of it. We're really proud of them.
And for you, Engela, personally, making that leap into entrepreneurship, what led you to leave the safe harbor of salaried employment and benefits and knowing that you're going to get a 13th check to the big risk and the plunge of entrepreneurship? What was that moment that said to you, no, this is something I've got to do?
So I think for me, the benefit or the advantage I have is I'm also at head office. So I obviously see the numbers. I know the business model work. I've been here for 10 years now. And I can see the success that has been created through the other franchisees. So it actually would have been very irresponsible of me not to take the advantage and also get into the stores, seeing the numbers and seeing what a great success they can be. So that definitely made it a lot easier for me to venture into that side.
Yeah, it's like I often say on my radio show to the market commentators, watch what the insiders are doing. Insider trades on the JSE. If the executives are buying their own share, you know that that company is heading in the right direction. Equally, if they're offloading stock. And I think, that illustrates that point quite well around why Cash Converters has been so successful, and that belief in the model is really tangible. Now, I think franchising can often feel intimidating from the outside. So what's your go-to advice for women who are maybe considering taking the plunge into franchise ownership? They've done a bit of desktop research. They're not quite sure if they should dip their toe in the water or not.
I think definitely the best is to contact us and to sit with us so that we can take them through the business model and to show them exactly what we do, how we do it. To take them to some of our stores so that they can spend time in the store, see the day-to-day activities. It's very important to know what you let yourself into. I think it's important to make sure that you align with the values of the brand that you are buying into as well. and because every brand is different. Every brand has their own culture, and I think it's important to make sure you align with those, and we can obviously take you through that to make sure you're comfortable and give you all the information that you need, and also introduce you to some of our female franchisees so that you can get first-hand information from them and feel comfortable about the stories they can tell you directly. And then they must never be afraid to ask. I think that's the most important thing, is ask as many questions as you can until you're comfortable. And they must know that they will never walk alone in this journey. We will be there with every step of the way.
Are you a Liverpool supporter by any chance?
I can be.
The famous payoff line for my beloved Red. Now, when you look at it, what I like about the model, and I'm probably going to be castigated here, but it does provide a good balance in terms of the operating hours for someone who might be looking to balance family commitments with entrepreneurial commitments. It's not like a QSR where you're going to be open into the evening hours or opening super early and that kind of thing. And I think often, the sad reality is in South Africa, we're very high divorce rates, women who are now, looking after themselves, looking for an opportunity. And I think often this can be that opportunity for a woman looking to find independence financially again. So there is that element to it. If I'm interested, what do I do? Do I just Google cash converters and go into my nearest one? Do I get hold of you at HQ? How do I get in contact with you? Where should I go if I want to begin this journey?
Yes, I think probably the easiest way would be to go to our website, because it's also filled with a lot of information. There is a link directly to say that you can click on if you're interested in franchise opportunities. But yes, they can at any time also contact our head office and ask to speak to our network growth team, and someone will get back to them. So there are various ways, but I think the website's probably the easiest, because they will also find a lot of information already about what we are about, how we do things. They'll see our very, very super awesome online shopping facility on there as well. And I think if they see that, they'll definitely fall in love immediately. So yes, they can get a lot of information on our website and contact us through there, and we will definitely be in touch immediately with them.
And I think, that's another thing. Cash Converters has long ago moved away just from being a brick and mortar store. I think through COVID, there was that pivot and innovative e-commerce platform that has now emerged on the back end of this. So it's not like you're just limiting yourself to your immediate catchment area. Someone might shop online and find, something that you've got. So you're tapping into all of that. You're tapping into decades of institutional knowledge, the support and the guardrails that Cash Converters has developed over time, all of that IP and all of those networks. Engela van Loggerenberg, thank you so much. That's all the cash converting we've got time for today here on Business Talk. Take care.
Thank you so much.